Morning. Let's start with a joke. What's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth? And the answer is 3 to 6 months. Right. This morning, I got sent an email about something about net zero that was in the Sun newspaper that basically said that net zero is going to bankrupt us all. We're going to end up worse off and it's going to impact the poorest in society. And I thought, oh, that's a good one. I'll do that as a video and let people know. But then I thought, one, you all already know that. And two, I couldn't actually find the article. So I was Googling net zero stuff, and then there's a black cat walking across there. Is that good luck or bad luck? If it does it again, then we'll know that we are actually stuck in the Matrix, and we'll come on to that at the end of this video. This is actually from the Telegraph, and I found this by accident this morning. Again, go back to the conspiracy theory, 3 to 6 months for a conspiracy theory to become reality. Experiments to dim the sun will be approved within weeks. Scientists consider brightening clouds to reflect sunshine among ways to prevent runaway climate change. So, cool. What do you think so far? Experiments to dim sunlight to fight global warming will be given the green light by the government within weeks. Global warming, is that the one where Al Gore said we're all going to be underwater? Or is that the one where they said we're going to get too hot? Or is that the one where we're going to get too cold? Or is it the rising sea levels? Because as Warren Buffett said, if global warming was causing rising sea levels, then we'd be seeing a huge property crash on the coast in Florida and on the islands where all the billionaires keep buying property. Doesn't seem to quite make sense, does it? I mean, property prices in Cornwall would be crashing like anything if indeed the water levels were going to rise. But no, we're going to dim the sun. Sadly, nothing to do with dim sum, the Chinese food. Outdoor field trials, which could include injecting aerosols into the atmosphere or brightening clouds to reflect sunshine, are being considered by scientists as a way to prevent runaway climate change. ARIA, the government's advanced research and invention funding agency, has set aside £50 million for projects which will be announced in the coming weeks. £50 million government money, taxpayer money, your money, my money. We're paying them to experiment with dimming the sun. Hands up if you approve. No, not one person. This is crazy, isn't it? Professor Mark Symes, the program director for ARIA, Advanced Research and Invention Agency, said there would be small, controlled outdoor experiments on particular approaches. We will be announcing who we have given funding to in a few weeks, and when we do so, we will be making clear when any outdoor experiments might be taking place, he said. One of the missing pieces in this debate was physical data from the real world. Models can only tell us so much. Everything we do is going to be safe by design. Hang on a minute, right? They're going to block out the sun, and they're saying it's going to be safe, but they've never done it before. So how do they know? Interesting. I can't believe that they're funding this. This needs like massive kickback from the people, but the people are done for, aren't they? I mean, since COVID, the people are done for. Everything we do is going to be safe by design. We're absolutely committed to responsible research, including responsible outdoor research. We have strong requirements around the length of time experiments can run for and their reversibility, and we won't be funding the release of any toxic substances to the environment. Geoengineering projects which seek to artificially alter the climate have proven controversial. Are you surprised? With critics arguing they could bring damaging knock-on effects, like all the flooding in Spain, as well as being an unhelpful distraction from lowering emissions. However, scientists are increasingly concerned that carbon dioxide levels are not falling fast enough and that further action may be needed to prevent catastrophic warming. Bring it on. It's freezing cold. It's April. It's the Easter holidays, right? Let me look at the sky a second. Weird grey in every direction, and it's about 9 degrees. Let's have the warming. Come on, do the warming already. Forget blocking out the sun. Can we enhance it somehow? However, scientists are increasingly concerned that carbon dioxide levels are not falling fast enough. I've said that already, but again, carbon dioxide is the food of life. So why would we need to lower that unless we were planning on getting rid of life? One major area of research is sunlight reflection methods, which include stratospheric aerosol injection. Stratospheric aerosol injection is can you say it on YouTube? Contrails that come out of planes, but not contrails that disappear. Like on a sunny day, you look up and you go, oh, there's a plane and there's a line behind it and the line just disappears and you go, yeah, that's normal. They're talking about the ones where they go all the way across the sky and then they spread out, they join up with other ones that are going all the way across the sky, forming like a grid formation, and then totally greying out the sky completely, but in a kind of weird way. When you look up and you go, the light just looks really odd. And they're saying they're going to start this now, but I swear they started this a few years ago. Another potential solution is marine cloud brightening, in which ships would spray sea salt particles into the sky to enhance the reflectivity of low-lying clouds. Thing is, if they do it out at sea as well, they can do it in areas where we can't see what they're up to. In recent decades, experts noticed that the clouds above shipping routes were far brighter than usual, as pollution caused them to become more reflective, bringing an overall dimming effect. Dimming. The dimming. Isn't there a documentary about that? The cooling from shipping fumes was so marked that when international regulations were enacted to curb sulfur dioxide emissions in 2020, it caused a spike in global warming, scientists believe. Don't forget that most scientists believe whatever they're being paid to say. Professor Jim Hayward of atmospheric science at the University of Exeter said, if you inject small particles into clouds, you can brighten them, hence reflecting more sunlight back out to space. How do we know if this would work? He says, well, there are a couple of very strong pieces of evidence. They've been doing it. Ship emissions from the smokestack into the marine environment lead to bright lines in clouds over the ocean. And then there was a volcanic eruption in Iceland in 2014, which spilled out a lot of sulfur dioxide. What this does is it brightens clouds and cools the planet. And what we need to do is some form of field experiments. Cool. Let's play God, because that's never gone badly before, has it? Like in Jurassic Park. You know, it's the old Jeff Goldblum quote, isn't it? People were so busy wondering whether they could, they never actually stopped to decide to ask whether they should. And no one's being asked anyway at this stage. Also, like, if we're going to inject, I don't know, sulfur and chemicals into clouds, I mean, what goes up must come down. It's the basics of like what you learn when you're a child. What goes up must come down, i.e. throw something up and it eventually comes back down. And carbon dioxide is the food of life and trees are good. Ignore all of those things that we learn at a young age because they're no longer true. Other ideas for geoengineering include seeding cirrus clouds to allow more heat to escape into space. Currently, the wispy high-altitude clouds act as a blanket trapping in heat. Good, I'm cold. Dr. Sebastian Eastham, a senior lecturer at Sustainable Aviation at Imperial College London. Imperial College London again, they keep popping up in all these dodgy things, don't they? Every single time there's something dodgy going on, Imperial College London are involved. Every time you fly, sulfur, which is naturally present in jet fuel, is emitted into the lowermost stratosphere, causing a small cooling effect. Similarly, aircraft contrails cause accidental cirrus cloud modification, but in this case, accidentally causing rather than preventing or thinning cirrus clouds. So now they're saying that contrails do cause clouds. Previously, they would just call us all conspiracy theorists for saying that. This points to the fact that it's theoretically possible to cool the planet with current day technology, but there are many practical questions that would need to be answered before that can be done at scale. Experts are hopeful that if experiments prove a success, they could be scaled up and implemented within 10 years. As well as outdoor experiments, AREA will also be funding new modelling studies, indoor tests, climate monitoring, and gauging public attitudes to geoengineering. They're just dropping the seeds here, drip feeding it like they did with artificial meats, and they tried to get everybody on board with artificial meat. Let's have some comments before we talk any conspiracies. John Hanna says, what was it that Morpheus said? We know it was us that scorched the sky. I told you we'd start with the Matrix and then end up back on it. Sarah says, get it wrong, and the latitude at which wheat will grow in the northern hemisphere will move southwards and millions could be faced with starvation. Sarah, they're going to recruit you because what most people don't realise or refuse to admit, that's the plan. Desmond says, the global climate is extremely complex and attempting to change any aspect of it by geoengineering demonstrates the madness of the climate zealot. It must not be allowed to happen. I agree with you, Des. Stephen says, I'm going to go onto X and look at the chemtrails pages. Should be amusing. Yeah, it should, because everyone's going, we tried to tell you. Eddie says, the Tin Hat Brigade will have a field day with this. Again, Eddie, like I said at the start of the video, the difference between a crazy theory that someone wearing a tinfoil hat is spouting and the truth is 3 to 6 months. Do you remember when we were saying it must have started in a lab? And now they're finally saying, oh yeah, actually, it did start in a lab. And all the stuff that went on with COVID. And Carl says, this is a joke, right? No, Carl, sadly, this isn't an April the 1st. I only wish it was. But there you go. That's the plan. We're going to dim the sun. We're not all getting together to have dim sun. We're going to dim the sun. Mugs and T-shirts are available in the banner below, I think. This one is Bodget and Scarpa motorhomes. Done in 3 weeks or your money back. RV specialists-ish. You hold it, I'll hit it. I don't know how much they are because this was just a trial. And yeah, they are available. I need to order some. These are drop shipped, which means the quality is not fantastic, but I need to order a batch. So I'll order a batch of these and then we'll sell them. And then I'll get some stickers ordered as well. And the t-shirts are available. So cheers everybody to a much colder, darker, bleaker, hungrier future that we will all enjoy together, except we won't enjoy it together because we'll all be confined to our separate 15-minute zones. See you there.